But to say that per the provision of 91 and 93, therefore we are bad, so I beg to differ.
Well, I will want to be guided by the rules. Yes, Honorable Professor.
Yes, please. Mr. Speaker, item 3 talks about referrals at committees, and I think that the numbers are huge, and it's a step in the right direction to ask committees to expedite work on them. However, also important is about questions we filed. Mr. Speaker, there are a lot of them. Questions that I've asked over a year ago to the Education Minister, Finance, Communication, and all that, have not been scheduled for me to ask those questions. And I want to plead with the leader of the House to do his best to table as many of the questions. Otherwise, there will be no incentive to even ask new questions, because the ones that you filed have not been attended to. And lastly, regarding our sitting time on Friday, I think it makes sense that we sit on Thursday at 2 p.m. because of the holiday and all that. But on Friday, I want to plead with the leader of the Business Committee on Friday, if we can do midday, because 2 p.m., some of us will be going back to our constituencies. Some will go by air, some will go by road. But if we make it 12 noon, I think we have ample time to deal with some of the businesses before we adjourn. So I'm on all fours pleading that let us reconsider the 2 p.m. on Friday. If we can bring it to midday, I think it will help the House and the business of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. By way of advice, the business statement is just saying that questions will be programmed. Sometimes questions are admitted, sometimes admission are declined. But I realize mostly after filing the question, we don't follow up. So I will urge the questioners to also follow up to know the status of their question. Yes, Honorable Kojo Ponkrua. Yes, are you yielding? Because of the practice and convention that has been referred to. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I've perused and listened to the majority leader. I've perused the statement, listened to the majority leader. I've paid particular attention to the papers to be presented next week, which is the final week of May. And Mr. Speaker, I have a concern that I'm hoping he can address in his final comments. Leader, Section 58 of Act 612, the Bank of Ghana Act, requires that when the annual audited accounts of the bank are completed, within 3 months, they should be presented to the Finance Minister, who should cause it to be gazetted, commented upon, and laid before the House. We are finished with April. That is the 4th month. Next week is the final week of the month of May. And in the business for the week, in presentation of papers, I don't see it there. I want to inquire from the leader if it is something within their contemplation, and caution that if we don't comply, we'll be in breach of Section 58. And maybe you can address that when he makes his remarks. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, you are making reference to D. Item numbered D. The second paragraph, which says, pursuant to Order 97, papers may be laid during the week, and reports from committees may also be presented to the House for consideration. Is that what you are referring to?
Additionally, Mr. Speaker, you will find that there are indicative papers that have been annexed to it, and I don't find it in there. That's the basis of my question.
Well, Honorable Majority Leader, I will call on you to respond. And you draw the attention to the indicative papers that you have annexed.
Mr. Speaker, the agenda for the meeting is in the works. It's being prepared. This is a draft that the table office has just given to me to look at. And in it, all those who have outstanding questions, the questions have been captured. So I know that Honorable Kingsley Ajuman of Ebuakwa South, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, think about 8 questions. Actually, more than 8. Standing in your name. Yes, so Kingsley Nyaku, okay. But there's a place where I saw your questions advertised for education, I think. So just to give you an indication that the questions have been captured in the draft agenda. So when they finalize it, we'll then start inviting the ministers to come and then answer the questions. So just to give you that assurance that your question is captured here. And on the issue of the situation in South Africa, indeed, I believe that on the situation in South Africa and the statement from the Foreign Ministry, I know as a fact that the minister is not in town. He is in Geneva as we speak. So that is why he hasn't come to brief us. I believe that when he comes, it will be easy to get him to come and then brief us on the efforts being made. And I also want to assure you that anytime you raise these issues, definitely we'll draw the attention of the ministers so that they come and then brief the House. I think those are the issues. The Bank of Ghana, thank you for drawing our attention. I will check the timelines, but this afternoon I will draw the attention of the Finance Minister and then the Governor of the Central Bank to make sure that they do not default in terms of the timelines. What I know is that during recess, I had a discussion with the Governor. He told me that he will be able to meet the timelines and bring the report. I know you are very interested in debating the report, and of course, why not? It is a very important report, and given all the good indicators that we see in the management of the finances of the country, the report will be an interesting, document to debate, and the stability of the cedi, the currency, even gaining strength in relation to other major, currencies. As for the cost involved in achieving the stability, we will discuss it. So, Mr. Speaker, I think those are the issues that have been raised. Is there something I've left out? Have I left out something? Yeah, the question of sitting on Friday at 12 midday, we can consider that. We can discuss that on Tuesday, and then with the Speaker, because the time for sitting is normally a decision of the Speaker. So we'll discuss with Speaker on Tuesday, and if he grants us the permission, we can start sitting at 12 midday on Friday so that we can adjourn early and people can travel to their various constituencies. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I intend to be extremely friendly to the Leader of the House this morning. this afternoon, actually. I intend to be friendly. Now, and I don't want a response such as you were at the business committee. I don't want that response.
We don't need Roxanne guidance.
And the Honorable Roxy should leave the majority leader alone. You should leave the majority leader alone. Yes. He wants to walk alone. Speaker, I commend leader for taking time to speak to us. Just few observations. I find it difficult to accept that we are doing 20 questions for the whole week. I concede Wednesday is a public holiday. Wednesday is a public holiday, yes, but the whole week and we are doing just 20 questions. Leader, let's pry into the availability of the minister and see. No, on the average, we've been doing 70. Leader, I'm very old in this house. It's 2 days. No, this is Friday for the ensuing week.
Tuesday.
No, we have Tuesday, we have Thursday, we have Friday. Leader, let's consider it. And then that would be my first observation. Second one, you have advertised the plethora of referrals. And I don't envy you, but I sympathize with you. However, leader, when I was almost concluding that you should, chief whip or the whips should navigate and get the committee leaders to meet with you. Then I heard you mention that budget has been made available. I commend you for that. But I also want to hazard a guess that I don't think it's just about budget. We should engage the committee leaders. Leader, I don't recall. I commend you that now Parliament is live. You've done very well. I've already told you I want to be friendly to you this morning. But I'm not sure the constraint is limited to only funding. So let's engage the committee leaders because we have 290 referrals. It's on the high side, and we should be concerned about it. Leader, before we rose, Chief Whip, if I have your attention, House Committee report had been on the order paper, only God knows the number of times. I am your vice chairman. I am ready to support you. House Committee report was never taken. I'm saying this in the context of the ensuing week's businesses that we have scheduled. And the House Committee report was completed long ago. It was programmed severally in the order paper. It was never taken. Yeah, so let's put it there. I beg you, let's put it there. Because you see, there is murmuring among colleagues, and I don't want to rehash this matter. Then the report, Collins Dowda's report, was also ready. Collins Dowda was ready to take it. Let's find a way to slot that one in. Yes, but we also agreed. Leader, unfortunately, was not at the meeting. I don't know if he just came from China, but he was not. So there was an agreement, Chief Whip. Have you properly briefed your boss that we're supposed to have committee of the whole? You have to brief him. Committee of the whole, no show. We can't find it. It's conspicuously missing. In fact, I should rather be blaming the deputy leader. You chaired the meeting. You should brief leader that we had agreed that we'll have committee of the whole. Look, your back, morale at your back is weak. Look at your back. Your morale is weak. You just came. So, leader should be apprised appropriately. Leader, let me conclude on this matter. I don't know how you will take it, but you had earlier given some modalities on statement. And I agree perfectly with you that we cannot have a thesis being presented on the House floor. We've visited other parliaments across the world, so we need to improve and get efficient. But, leader, we cannot improve at our expense. And ministers will come and read a synopsis, a whole 10-page statement. They will just read it, and members are told to come and present just 2-page statement. That is not fair. So let's leverage on that and get the modalities smoothened so that they affect both members of parliament and ministers. And ministers must be told in plain words, when you are coming, you come, either it's 3-page, 2-page, you stick to it, just as we gave modalities to colleagues, members of parliament. So these will be it, and I commend the table office and of course the majority leader. He's been able to clear most of the statements that have been outstanding. You see, when you're commending him, you'll be blinking his eyes. Because when you're commending the majority leader, he'll be blinking his eyes and he's happy. When you give him a strong criticism, a small criticism, then he say, you have to learn the practice. You have to go and learn the practice. So, leader, we commend you, but let's see how we can. You have done well to dispense of these statements. I'm sure in the same vein, we can find a way to dispense of the questions as well. And mind you, most of these questions, they are time bound, and many of them are also issue bound. If we allow them to relapse and delay unnecessarily, it may be mute. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. Leader, I thank you.
Yes, leadership. In the absence, yes, leader, you may respond.
The referrals are an issue that we insist chairpersons must bring their reports for us to consider. Repeating that, I know that during the recess, many of those committees met and worked on their referrals, public accounts, local government, lands, trade, education, roads, energy, they all met. And so I expect the reports to start flowing in so that we will consider them. And the House Committee report, I think the last time it was advertised, but tactically there was a decision not to take it because some aspects disclose certain things that we thought were not appropriate. But I think there's now a decision to rather take the report in a committee of the whole meeting. So we will expedite action on that one. And the statements by ministers on policy issues, definitely will caution them to ensure that there's brevity and focus on the key issues that they are briefing us on, same way that we caution MPs that statements should be relatively short so that we can take as many statements as possible and comment on as many of them as possible. So those are the issues. I thank you very much.
Honourable members, the business statement as presented is accordingly adopted. Yes, Majority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I want to crave your indulgence for us to amend the order of business and take item number 8 and then come back to item number 7 so that we can commence public business and take item number 8A.
Yes, Deputy Minority Leader.
Speaker, the majority leader is calling for variation of order of business. But Order 67, because of what he had mentioned to us at conclave, I want to respect that the minister is here to make a policy. So, and the minister is here, is one of our own. I will wish that we listen to the minister's policy statement, and then afterwards we can attend to the business the majority leader is calling us to do.
Well, I was at conclave with you, and I believe the majority leader is within what he told us at conclave, that we will lay the papers and thereafter take the statement and probably call it a day.
Speaker, there will be no objection then.
Very well, we vary the order of business. At commencement of public business, item numbered 8, presentation of papers. Item numbered 8A, by the Minister of State in charge of government business, government communication.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the Minister of State in charge of government communication is actually, I think, in the northern region. Yes. In the northern region with His Excellency the President. And so he's unable to be here to lay the paper. So we have the Minister of State in charge of public sector reforms. So we crave your indulgence to allow her to lay the paper on behalf of the Minister of State in charge of government communication. So, Speaker, I know that this will not be opposed by my friends in the minority because they had earlier expressed their interest in having the report on the presidential staffers. And so they will not obstruct any attempt to have that report laid.
Yes, Deputy Minority Leader. That's the application before us.
But the speaker cannot mention a particular person on our front bench. So you can only say that the minority front bench.
Well,
Honorable Roxanne, I'm your senior in the front bench.
Habib,
so learn from me. I'm your senior
Habib,
in the front bench.
I completely disagreed with you. Whilst the minority leader is there, I cannot be referring to a whip. Whilst the deputy minority leader is there, I cannot be calling on a whip. So it is the leader that I will have to call per our rules. If she has decided to yield to you, that one is different. So if you would agree that whilst you are there as the available leader, I should refer to your back, then tell me that is the practice. So I don't have a problem if she decides to yield to any of you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm in agreement with the proposal.
Very well.
Thank you.
Yes. Item numbered 8A. We take it together. No, let's take it one after the other. 8A-I.
Budget Performance Report of the Office of Government Machinery for the year 2025.
Honourable members, report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Public Administration and State Interest for consideration and reports. 8II.
Annual report on the staffing position of the Office of the President for the period January to December 2025.
Honourable members, report duly presented, and it is referred to the Committee on Public Administration and State Interest for consideration and reports. Item numbered 8B.
So the chairman of finance committee, a member of the committee is here and will lay the report on behalf of the committee.
Yes.
Speaker, Honorable Champo is one of our own. And, but to lay this paper, Champo, you are old in this house. No, I'm not opposed, but you have to engage. Speaker, in this house, you want to lay this paper. The earlier ones, we were engaged. You've not engaged. Speaker, I will not oppose the laying of this paper. But I'm cautioning the Honorable Champo, he's old in this house to know that he cannot just come and lay papers and the majority leader will respect him. You can't just come and lay the paper and go. You know what to do.
Yes, item numbered 8B.
Report of the Finance Committee on the basic documents of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, EBRD, to facilitate Ghana's subscription to 522 shares of the capital stock of the EBRD.
All members, the report has been duly presented and it is for the distribution to honorable members. Item numbered 8C.
Mr. Speaker,
yes.
The various reports are not yet ready. Actually, I've already.
Majority Leader, you mean to say 8C is not ready?
Okay, so let's do 8.
So, Mr. Speaker, let's lay the various reports.
So, are we taking 8C or not?
Yeah, we're taking 8C.
Yes.
No, Chairman. So, member is
Chairman of the committee.
Okay, we'll do D. We'll do D series. Let's do the D series. We'll leave the C.
Let's do the C. We'll come to the D series. Is the chairman of the committee available?
No, the chairman, by a member of the committee, is available to lay the report on behalf of the chairman.
Very well, make the necessary application. Majority Leader, make the necessary application.
What's the name?
A member for Biakuye.
So we request that the member for Biakuye should lay the report 8C on behalf of the chairman of the committee.
Yes, that's the application.
No, C.
Deputy Minority Leader. C is the report of the Committee on Roads and Transportation on the Maritime and Related Offences Bill 2026. And it will be for distribution of the House. Distribution to the House.
So, Mr. Speaker, she will lay the reports in D, Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on behalf of the chairman of the Roads and Transport Committee.
So are we deferring C? Okay. So item numbered 8D. We take Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 together.
Report of the Committee on Roads and Transportation on the bilateral air service agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the Government of the Republic of Benin, relating to the establishment of air services. Report of the Committee on Roads and Transportation on the bilateral air service agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the Government of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, relating to the establishment of air services. Report of the Committee on Roads and Transportation on the bilateral air service agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the Government of the Republic of Mauritius, relating to the establishment of air services. Report of the Committee on Roads and Transportation on the bilateral air service agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana relating to the establishment of air services. Report of the Committee on Roads and Transportation on the bilateral air services agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the government of the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg relating to the establishment of air services. Report of the Committee on Roads and Transportation on the bilateral air services agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the government of the State of Qatar relating to the establishment of air services.
Honorable members, the report numbered item number 8D, 1 to 6, have been duly presented, and they are for distribution to honorable members. Yes, Majority Leader.
So, Mr. Speaker, we can now take item number 7. Statement by the Honorable Lydia Lamisi Akamvaraba and Honorable Emmanuel Bejira. A joint statement, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Minority, yes.
Speaker, we had agreed.
Very well. Item numbered 7. It's a joint statement standing in the name of Honorable Lydia Lamisi Akamvaraba, MP for Timpani, and Honorable Emmanuel Kwesi Bejira, MP for Ho West. Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a joint statement with my colleague on the implementation of the Open Government Partnership in Ghana and the commemoration of the OGP Week, which falls on the 18th to the 22nd of May annually. Ghana has been a member of the Open Government Partnership since its inception in September 2011. Mr. Speaker, in line with the globally accepted standards, Ghana's OGP operates through a co-creation process involving government, civil society, and other stakeholders. The Public Sector Reform Secretariat, under the Office of the President, serves as its national secretariat. A 20-member steering committee with equal representation from government and civil society, co-chaired by my good self and a representative from civil society, oversees the development and monitoring of the national action plans. This national steering committee includes 2 members of parliament from both sides of the House. Mr. Speaker, since joining the Open Government Partnership, Ghana has achieved notable results through the Open Government Partnership platforms. These include the passage and operationalization of the Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989, the establishment of a public beneficial ownership register, reforms in the public financial management driven by the Public Accounts Committee and audit report commitments, and the strengthening of open data initiative in sectors such as health, education, and the extractives. Around half of the commitments in Ghana's last concluded action plan achieved moderately early results, with progress particularly evident in access to information and corporate transparency. This Parliament of Ghana has also been a significant player in the country's OGP efforts following the launch of an Open Parliament Action Plan, the establishment of an Open Government Partnership Caucus in Parliament, and Open Parliament Steering Committee co-chaired by Mr. Speaker himself and a representative from civil society, as well as an open parliament working group that comprises of senior staff of parliament and working in concert with collaborators from civil society organizations. Right Honorable Speaker, Ghana's participation in the Open Government Partnership has also gained continental and global recognition. At the 2023 Open Government Partnership Award, held during the Open Government Partnership Global Summit in Tallinn, Estonia, Ghana won the African Regional Award in the national category for its commitment on Public Accounts Committee and Audit Report, cited as the inspirational reforms for enhancing accountability and transparency. Additionally, Tokwan Swiem Municipal Assembly, an OGP local member, was recognized in the local category for its youth entrepreneurship and women empowerment program. In 2021, Ghana's Open Data Initiative, implemented in 2013, received the OGP Impact Award for innovation, such as, I quote, Where My Money Day, unquote, and the Online Blood Bank of Ghana. Recently, at the African Open Government Partnership Conference held in Rabat, Morocco, Ghana was touted for its open parliament tenets and as a country working to mainstream open government partnership across the state. Ghana is building an ecosystem that connects national reforms with parliamentary openness, local innovation, civil society engagement, and citizen participation. Mr. Speaker, while these achievements are commendable, sustained progress requires renewed commitment. I therefore call on this August House and the Executive on this occasion of Open Government Week to 1. Provide adequate financial and political support for the full implementation, midpoint refresh of the 5th National Action Plan and OGP in its entirety in Ghana. 2. Strengthen Parliament's institutional role in the Open Government Partnership process through Open Government Parliamentary Caucus, the Open Parliament Action Plan, and the Open Parliament Steering Committee, which under the auspices of Mr. Speaker is working towards providing an extensive briefing of Committee of the Whole on OGP in the coming days. 3. Deepen multi-stakeholder engagement to ensure consultations extend beyond Accra and reflect the voices of citizens of all the regions. 4. Prioritize the passage and implementation of impending legislative commitments, such as the Community Service Bill 2026, legislative instrument to operationalize the following acts: the Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989, and the Fisheries and Aquaculture Act 2025, Act 1146, to consolidate the gains in transparency and accountability. Mr. Speaker, the Open Government Partnership remains a valuable platform for Ghana to deepen democratic governance and restore public trust. It is imperative that we treat this implementation not as a donor-driven project, but as a national reform agenda owned by Parliament, the Executive, and the people of Ghana. Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah. Honourable members, statement ably made. And now to the leadership, how many contributions are we taking from each side?
Let's do 2-2. Speaker, we pray that we do 2-2, including leadership.
Very well. The floor is now open. Yes, Honourable Boama, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this statement ably made by our minister. Mr. Speaker, ordinarily, open government partnership is a very important concept in terms of how governance is supposed to play its role in the socio-economic development of the country. The history behind the open government partnership dates back to about 15 years ago, when nations took that position that there should be a form of inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability between the state and its citizenry. It is refreshing for the purposes of record that Ghana has signed on to this open government partnership. But it is not about rhetoric. It is about whether truly, in its intents and purposes, we are experiencing, practicalizing, and seeing the benefits of an open government initiative. We sit here in Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Issues happen on a daily basis, on a regular basis. When you ask for members, for ministers of state to come and brief this Parliament of issues that concerns the people of Ghana, what do we say? Go and file your question. Go and make a statement. Whilst for purposes of inclusiveness, accountability, the government on its own sole motu should be able to come to the house, the august house of its people, of its citizenry, and give them information and brief them as to the happenings around the globe concerning the interest of its people. How many days and weeks and months have we been talking about the xenophobic attack in South Africa? Why should we be the ones calling on the minister to come and brief us? Doesn't the minister know that this is a matter of national importance that he has to come and brief this house? So it is not just for purposes of saying open government partnership. We want to feel and see open governance in this country. We want to see government show accountability to its people. We want to see a situation where governance is not just a matter of words, but we see it in action on a daily basis. Government should not pick and choose what it wants to feed its citizens. Government should get a listening ear to know what its citizens want to also know from them. And this is what this house we have to stand up and be counted for. As a responsible opposition, ours is to call government attention to the concerns of the people of Ghana. As a people, our interest is to make sure that government stands up and make sure that it tells its people everything that happens. And that is why ministers of state are appointed. And so we cannot, and this is a signal to leadership, that the call for the Minister of Foreign Affairs to come and brief this house on a xenophobic attack, it is late, but it's better late than never. And so this house, in conjunction with the statement that has been read, we agree that open government partnership Ghana have signed on to, the Honorable Bejra and the Minister are doing well, but we should feel it. Government should know that its citizens want to hear them on what happens in this country. Its citizens want to know on a regular basis the economies of this country. We talk about good macroeconomic indices. The people of Ghana are saying we don't feel it in our pockets. The Minister of Finance should come here and tell the people of Ghana something. The Minister of Finance has to meet the people, meet the citizenry, and tell them and give them hope. The doomsday issue, people want to hear something. Open governance is people coming to tell us, government telling us what we need to hear.
Be reminded of the necessary order.
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. But what I'm saying basically is that the concept of open government partnership is a government citizenry agreement. It is a government citizenry agreement. And so we expect government to engage the citizenry and make sure that at the end of the day, the people of Ghana are briefed, are informed, so that together we can build a better governance. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity.
Yes. Honorable Hamza.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for granting me the opportunity to contribute to this very important statement. Mr. Speaker, the submission of my honorable colleague, Honorable Yabuoma, clearly shows that he is not very conversant with the tenets of the OGP caucus. The OGP caucus was inaugurated by Right Honorable Speaker in the last Parliament.
He wasn't here.
And since then, the Right Honorable Speaker has provided strong support to the caucus to undertake a lot of activities. The caucus focuses on transparency, accountability, civil participation. And so the caucus, since starting or hitting the ground, has engaged a number of agencies, ministries, and institutions to verify the extent to which they ensure or they enforce the tenets of this very important OGP. And I must say that during the visitations by the caucus to the agencies, a lot came up because we identified pitfalls within the agencies and the institutions and what ought to be done to ensure that they enforce the tenets of the OGP. Some of the agencies didn't know that there's an important arm of government which is supposed to provide oversight responsibilities so far as transparency, accountability, and citizen participation is concerned in the running of their activities. And so OGP has been very instrumental in ensuring that ministries, agencies, institutions ensure that they take into account these very important concepts. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by saying that the OGP, since its inception, has provided an interface for civil society organizations in their participation in governance, particularly in parliamentary discussions. Hitherto, there wasn't an opportunity for civil society, if they want to table issues, important issues on the floor of Parliament, there wasn't an opportunity. But since the establishment of the caucus, the OGP caucus has been engaging the civil society organizations and giving them the opportunity to express their views. We have given them the opportunity to reach out to us anytime they have very important issues that they want to pass through Parliament. And so since then, the OGP has been working very closely with this civil society organization. So OGP has come to stay. I urge colleagues to all support so that we can continue to ensure that we have people, institutions remain accountable, they allow citizens to participate, and they ensure transparency in all that they do. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Minority Leadership.
Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity, and let me commend the makers of this statement, this joint statement, especially the Honorable Minister, Honorable Lydia Lamisi. Speaker, I've just been perusing the statement, and I see that there is a constitution of a body or a committee that is made up of a 20 member. It's a membership of 20, and the minister happens to chair the committee. Speaker, I think the government or the basis of this OGP is to, as it were, involve the civil society and other public units or stakeholders in government activities, and to virtually provide the necessary reforms or serve as a feedback for government on issues that matter. Speaker, but in recent times, we have been confronted with the culture of silence to the extent that people are not even given opportunities to talk freely. Every time you get the opportunity to talk, you are gagged, you are intimidated, you are harassed, you are arrested, you are detained, there is a massive unwarranted arrest within this country called Ghana, as if we are reversing the criminal libel law which has been virtually amended. Speaker, as we speak, the last but one arrest that I remember, and if that comes under sections 207 and 208 of the Criminal Offences Act.
Honorable Minority, Deputy Minority Whip, are you speaking to commenting on the statement on the floor?
Yes, Speaker, yes.
Be guided accordingly.
Speaker, I'm very much
comment
guided.
On the statement must not generate debate. That is the guiding principle.
Speaker, I am talking about open governance. And I'm making the point that as we speak now, that is being derailed. Citizens are unable to comment the way they are supposed to because they are gagged. And therefore, I am now advising the chair of the committee that if she is mandated to push an agenda of open governance, one of the first things she has to consider is to push for free speech. Speaker, this is not a departure from this statement. All I'm asking for is that let us push for free speech. Let there not be culture of silence. Let government and a committee be a platform for feedback. That when a citizen finds the need to
Who has been arrested and what was the basis of the arrest? I came in to say, be mindful of the order.
Speaker,
because of the words you use.
Speaker, I can give you an example.
It's because of that, that's why I am adventing your mind to the rules.
Speaker, I am within the rules respectfully. I am only...
And that clearly will generate debate. Or don't you agree with me?
Speaker, no, I don't. Respectfully. Speaker, all I'm trying to say that this is my comment. As much as possible, this is a very important platform to get feedback for government. That is why you are involving CSOs. That is why you are involving all manner of stakeholders. And that when you get the feedback, don't let it be a basis for people to be arrested. That we should encourage free speech, Speaker. That to the extent, if a citizen should be free to appear before this committee to say that Madam Honorable Minister, Dumso is back, and there is judicial notice of Dumso being back, that should be heard without any form of arrest, to the extent of even being incarcerated. Speaker, with all this said, I would urge you and your committee that governance is an inflow and outflow. And both sides. Governance is a pipeline for inflow and outflows. You would hear, there will be, respectfully, there will be garbage in and garbage out. You would hear things you have to hear, you would hear things you do not have to hear. When you hear them, what you can do is to ensure that whatever the problems are, if it is a matter of Galamsey, if it's a matter of Dumso, let it get back to the president and fix him. And that we can have our country in a very peaceful atmosphere. Speaker, with this, I thank you for the attention.
Yes, Majority Leadership.
Speaker, may I yield the place of the majority bench to the Honorable Bachman?
Very well.
Thank you.
You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, may I first commend the makers of the statement and also commend the Right Honorable Speaker for putting together this caucus for this special project, which we believe would help cement our democracy and make sure that we continue to be a beacon of democracy in Ghana. I heard the Deputy Minority Whip talking about some people being arrested, etc. But Mr. Speaker, as a lawyer, he knows that if you are a citizen of a state, the Constitution enjoins you to be disciplined. The Constitution enjoins you to also act in a manner that is not detrimental to the peace of the state. We should act within the confines of the law, and that every man is free, but wherever that person finds himself is to abide by the law. So you can't just go about haywire saying anything
Please
you want.
Restrict yourself to the comment.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'm trying to dovetail it within the confines of the statement that was made. The statement is in line with ensuring that effective participation of the people in the state in governance is done. And that, Mr. Speaker, every good policy, every good decision is that which all component units contribute to it. And that which, if all component units are contributing to it, it means that our diverse ideologies, our diverse opinions are brought together for our mutual benefit. And Mr. Speaker, if that is done, if we allow people, we open up democracy, we open up governance for people to participate in it, these people can help in effectively implementing policies and decisions that we make. Otherwise, they will see government as far away from them. But this is meant to bring governance to the doorstep of the people. This is why I stand to commend the committee for the yeoman's job that they are doing, and I encourage them that they should continue so that Ghana would continue to enjoy the mutual, a concerted effort of all of us in building our state, but not to condone irresponsibility, not to condone people who just sit and open their mouth and think that they will have some politicians support them. We believe in democracy, and we must support democracy. We must support good governance. We must support joint. We must support everybody participating in the betterment of our state. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honourable members, that brings us to the end.
Speaker,
that
humbly, we
statement.
Yes, Speaker, humbly, we earlier prayed that there is another statement admitted but not advertised, and it's a commemorative one. And incidentally, the day is today. So,
well, Majority Chief Whip.
Yes.
You know my difficulty in these matters.
I know.
At conclave, there has been some agreement.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And unless the two sides engage to vary that particular agreement, I'm unable to do so.
Mr. Speaker, so let me defer to my brother so that we take it to the 8th meeting. Let's take it and then we'll brief you.
Mr. Speaker, myself and the Majority Chief Whip, we are all wearing white today. I don't know for what reason. We don't actually and normally agree. We don't. But on this matter, Professor Bayo is the Deputy Minister who never was. So I like listening to him. And for that matter, we will object to it if it is okay with you. Mr. Speaker, normally the process of
are you in charge of appointment of deputy ministers?
But Mr. Speaker, I said he is the deputy minister who never was. But Mr. Speaker, if we want to go into this gray area, there are a lot of positions that have been lying idle for the past getting to a year. No substantive defense minister, no substantive environment minister. Meanwhile, you have other people. More than 100 of your MPs are not. That's why they don't come to Parliament, because they see their position aligned.
Do you have respect for our Constitution?
Mr. Speaker,
I believe you have respect for our Constitution.
Mr. Speaker, without much, I'm saying that.
What did Article 58 says?
Mr. Speaker, whatever the Article 58 is telling us, what I do know is that I'm a Ghanaian and we don't have a substantive defense minister. That is what is on record.
Within the meaning of Article 58, you cannot complain.
Mr. Speaker,
executive power is vested in the presidents.
Yes, but Mr. Speaker,
and it is exercised, that function in Article 58.1 by 58.3 is performed either directly by the president or indirectly by a subordinate officer. So, if that is what the Constitution is saying, does it lie in your mouth to say what you are saying?
But Mr. Speaker, what I do know is that we don't have a substantive defense minister, and that is on record.
So the president can choose to perform that function directly. That's what the Constitution is saying.
A caretaker minister is not a substantive minister of that portfolio.
But that is what the Constitution is saying.
But
I'm referring you to the Constitution.
Mr. Speaker, this House vetted the finance minister for that position, but not as defense minister.
Let me read it for your understanding. Well, it says 58.1. The executive authority of Ghana shall vest in the president and shall be exercised in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. 2. The executive authority of Ghana shall extend to the execution and maintenance of the constitution and all laws made under or continued in force by the Constitution. 3, particularly 3, subject to the provisions of this Constitution, the functions conferred on the President by Clause 1 of this article may be exercised by him either directly or through officer subordinate to him. So what are we complaining about? Is the president operating outside the ambit of the provisions of the Constitution?
Mr. Speaker, what I do know is that the President of the Republic of Ghana, who we elected, he has that executive authority because we voted for him to be the President of the Republic. So in exercising that authority vested in him is by the people. And for that matter, Mr. Speaker, as a Ghanaian, I have the right to call on the president to appoint a substantive defense minister. So whether a caretaker minister or not, the president owes us a duty to also appoint a substantive minister. Sanjay Nyaja is
by
interested.
What authority?
Consumitim is interested. And yet they are not being given the opportunity. Vanderpool is there. He's interested. Mr. Speaker, when I started speaking this, he was showing me his face. An indication that he really wants to be the defense minister. Mr. Speaker, we don't have a problem with this statement. He can go ahead and make the statement.
Honourable members, before taking the statement, let me acknowledge the presence of students from our God is Good school, led by Mr. Daniel Dade, a teacher. They are from Anyan, Sowetum, the number 68. Then we have Dankwa Mfum, Methodist Basic School, led by Jack Christopher, also a teacher, and they are from Upper Denchira East, the number 64. Then we have Manya Krobo Senior High School, led by Dogbe Prince Lordson, a teacher. They are from Lower Manya constituency, the number 65. We have Brilliant Consorts, led by Lord Bewa, coordinator. They are from Oforikrom, the number 35. And finally, Kindicare School, led by Nana Dako Ochre, Supervisor from Ablekuma West, the numbered 67. All members, on your behalf, I welcome all of them to Parliament of the Republic of Ghana and urge them to have a fruitful visit to Parliament. Yes, Honorable Bayo, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to make a statement on the floor of this august House on a very important medical condition, preeclampsia. Mr. Speaker, today, the 22nd of May, is marked globally as World Preeclampsia Day. The theme for this year is Know Her Symptoms. Know Her Symptoms. This theme calls on the entire society to be aware of the disease entity called preeclampsia and be familiar with the symptoms so that we can protect our mothers, wives, sisters, daughters, and indeed all women. In the run-up to this day, and in recognition of the contribution of preeclampsia to preventable maternal deaths, the World Health Organization, the WHO, convened its maiden Global Preeclampsia Summit in Kigali, Rwanda, from the 5th to the 8th of May 2026, under the theme, Aligning to End Preventable Deaths from Preeclampsia. I was invited as one of the 140 experts in this area of medicine globally, and I wish to express my profound gratitude to the WHO for the recognition and the invitation, and to the Right Honorable Speaker and the Parliamentary Service for facilitating my participation in this important summit that sought to develop a roadmap to reduce preventable deaths from preeclampsia. What is preeclampsia, and why does the medical community call on us to be aware of it today? Preeclampsia is a hypertensive disorder in pregnancy that is associated with elevated blood pressure, protein in the urine, and sometimes diseases in other organs in the body, such as the liver, the kidneys, brain, and more. It can proceed to a complication known as eclampsia, when the woman develops convulsions, and this often signals an immediate end to the pregnancy, irrespective of the age of that pregnancy. This may result in the delivery of premature babies with reduced chance of survival. Mr. Speaker, according to the WHO, globally, preeclampsia affects 10 million pregnancies yearly, with 50,000 to 76,000 deaths annually. Unfortunately, the burden of this is disproportionately high in low middle income countries, including Ghana. These countries bear about 70% of the global burden. Mr. Speaker, this terrible condition is the second leading direct cause of maternal deaths worldwide. And in Ghana, it is only second to bleeding conditions, otherwise known as hemorrhage. In teaching hospitals in Ghana, in fact, preeclampsia has overtaken hemorrhage as a leading reason why mothers die. The WHO estimates that a woman is affected by preeclampsia every 6 seconds, and every 13 minutes, a woman dies from preeclampsia somewhere on this earth. In fact, since I started addressing this august House, a number of women might have already died from this condition in some part of the world. And their only crime is that they sought to give life to another human being. In other words, they were only trying to sustain the human race. Mr. Speaker, preeclampsia occurs only in relation to pregnancy, or rarely in a few days after pregnancy. Its exact cause is shrouded in theories and myths. It is generally believed in the scientific world that it results from abnormal placenta formation, and the placenta is the afterbirth. Some risk factors include developing preeclampsia in a previous pregnancy, maternal obesity, getting pregnant at the extremes of the reproductive age, that is, if the woman is too young or too old at their first pregnancy, having concurrent renal disease while pregnant, diabetes, and other comorbidities in pregnancy. Mr. Speaker, like many medical conditions that steal life from their victims and from the hands of caregivers silently, which we call silent killers, preeclampsia in early stages has no symptoms. It may only be diagnosed at that stage by elevated BP and protein in the urine. If undetected, however, and allowed to progress to severe disease, it may be associated with headache, pain in the upper abdomen, blurred vision, convulsions, and liver disease, among others. Mr. Speaker, preeclampsia is better prevented than treated. Regular antenatal care and complying with advice of the caregiver is one of the surest ways to prevent preeclampsia. And where prevention is not possible, we must ensure early diagnosis and management to prevent the complications and optimize outcomes of pregnancy for both mother and baby. Depending on the risk category of a woman, she may be prescribed some antenatal medications to help prevent preeclampsia. In women with preeclampsia with severe features, the medications will be available at all times and in all is estimated at 234 maternal deaths per live birth, and preeclampsia is a significant contributor. To stem the tide, the Ministry of Health and its agencies must ensure availability of medical equipment such as blood pressure monitoring machines, essential medical commodities, and other diagnostics at all facilities. I want to commend highly the government for the recent retooling of health facilities as part of the free primary health care program. Health workers must also comply with national protocols and guidelines on hypertensive disorders in pregnancy. I call on the Minister of Health and implementing agencies to use the free primary health care program as a vehicle to improve maternal health, especially preeclampsia. Implementing districts should identify women who develop hypertension in pregnancy and monitor them more frequently in the postpartum period because they stand a higher chance of developing chronic hypertension. Mr. Speaker, as one who previously trained doctors and healthcare workers, I can attest that our healthcare workers in this country are well trained to diagnose and manage this condition. We just have to encourage women who are pregnant to seek care. Mr. Speaker, let me inform the male partners that their involvement in antenatal care by visiting the clinic with their partners, reminding and encouraging them to take their medications, have been proven to yield better pregnancy outcomes compared to unsupported women. Please, men, let's get involved. And to my colleagues here and all men in the country, I say, don't be a sperm donor. Be a real dad by committing to the entire process. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, statement ably made. Deputy Majority Leader. What is the agreed
Mr. Speaker,
number
we have
that will
agreed,
comment on the
we
statement?
have agreed to take 2-2 if there are people willing to comment.
Very well. The same thing including leadership or excluding leadership?
Mr. Speaker, I think including leadership. Leadership, okay.
Very well. Honorable Koko Ashanti, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I must commend my honorable colleague, the maker of the statement, for raising this awareness about preeclampsia. It's a very serious condition for pregnant women. If preeclampsia is not treated, as he indicated, then it progresses to eclampsia, which can be fatal. Not long ago, a few months ago, I gave a statement on maternal mortality, which is an alarming phenomenon that we're seeing in Ghana. Maternal mortality is the death of pregnant women either right before childbirth or immediately after childbirth. There was a 3-year study from Kolebu Teaching Hospital back in 2020, in March 2025, which provided some data. And the data was that out of 100,000 live births, 801 of them concluded in the death of the mother or mother-to-be, which is alarming. If you compare it to the world, the global other data from the other countries, Germany, for example, it's 4 in 100,000 live births, and Ghana is 801, which is unacceptable. Hypertensive disorders accounted for over 40% of those maternal deaths, followed by hemorrhage, bleeding. Now, these causes are well known. That's the sad part about it. Hypertension is well known from, I don't know how many years. We know my great-grandmother, my grandmother, they had hypertension. They lived to like 90 years old. So these are well-known causes. And yet we're still losing these young ladies and mothers from these causes that are totally preventable. That is a national tragedy. Eclampsia, preeclampsia, hemorrhage are all well known and can be preventable. We have hypertensive drugs, we call maintenance drugs, that are available, and yet we're still losing mothers to maternal deaths. Mr. Speaker, I think what we need is to strengthen our maternal health system, particularly our emergency obstetric care, to prevent the avoidable deaths and safeguard the lives of the mothers. No woman should lose their life in giving life. No woman should lose their life in giving life. And yet, even if you look, even on social media, it's devastating. You see all these flyers of women dying from maternal death, and most of it is preventable. We also have negligence, by the way, but that's another story that I'll make a statement on that at some other time. But these are preventable. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that we do need to strengthen our maternal health system, particularly in the rural areas where reaching a hospital may be a little difficult. We need to strengthen that and make sure that we safeguard the lives of our mothers. This is not a woman's issue alone. It is a national tragedy, and it's the failure of our governance and it's the failure of our health system. Going on, we have the Agenda 111 hospitals that are languishing in the woods. If we complete them, it will also go to help alleviate and prevent these maternal deaths. For example, in my hometown at Abomosu in the Etiwa West, we have an Agenda 111 hospital that is 95 or more complete. I remember when the Minister of Health was here last year, I raised it, and he didn't object. He said that, yes, they were going to look at those hospitals that were at least 90% complete and would put funds aside to complete them. I have not heard anything yet, but I will put a question on that. I know Mr. Speaker is probably going to say that's not what we're talking about today, but it is related to this, because the Agenda 111 hospitals are supposed to to be regional hospitals and to basically help care for millions and millions of Ghanaians. And yet we have them uncompleted. I am witness to one in Abomosu where it's almost complete. The only thing that was left was the internal doors. And when I got the data on what was left, it was about 1 million Ghana cedis. 1 million Ghana cedis. If I take a plate and go around the house, I'm sure that I'll get 1 million Ghana cedis from members here. So is the NDC government telling me that they cannot put together 1 million Ghana cedis to complete the Abomosu Agenda 11 hospital? That is sad. We should not politicize certain things, especially health. Health education should not be political.
Yes. Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I commend our brother, Professor Bayo, highly for the statement this afternoon. Mr. Speaker, it is sad to see a fellow woman lose her life because she wants to give life. It's very, very sad. And this is a situation that we all must rise up, as even members of parliament, the state, everybody, to come on board to encourage our pregnant women to seek antenatal care when they are pregnant. Mr. Speaker, we all know that when a woman is pregnant, sometimes that woman is not hypertensive, but she develops it during the pregnancy. And this is something that one might not be expecting. So when they seek health care, I think our regular checkups will help them be able to be diagnosed and then early treatments be given to such situations. Mr. Speaker, I am happy with the current government efforts to make sure healthcare is accessible to the people. As we speak, cheap compounds are being built everywhere in the country so that healthcare will be accessible to our people. That is what we are all praying for. Mahama Care has come to stay. Mr. Speaker, I'm also using this opportunity to plead with healthcare givers, our doctors, our nurses, who are refusing postings to rural areas. Mr. Speaker, it is sad, and I'm using this opportunity to let the whole Ghana know that OT region, about 23, 25 doctors were posted to the OT region. Only single two accepted postings to the OT region. So our healthcare givers, both nurses and doctors, I'm using this medium to plead with you, our midwives. Before you enter into the system, you know that we have healthcare in every corner of the nation. It's not only cities that we have hospitals and clinics. So when you are posted to the rural areas, please accept postings. Everybody needs healthcare. We are pleading that you accept postings to these rural areas so that you'll be able to assist our women, not only women, all sick people. Mr. Speaker, it is time for us to give more education like our MPs. I'm pleading with my colleagues here present and all listening to me. Let's collaborate with the health workers to give more education on the importance of attending clinic regularly. Some women feel very healthy when they are pregnant, so they think all is okay. Until they go to the hospital to get checked, they wouldn't know that there is a problem. So I'm using this opportunity to plead with everybody to come on board. NGOs, foundations, stakeholders, everybody. Let's get in touch with our health workers to educate, give our women, our mothers regular education